Hello, what up everybody? Creepy's the name and drawing's my game. And welcome to another drawing tutorial. This tutorial is going to be teaching how to draw my doppelganger. That's right, you heard it right, my doppelganger. His name is Kai. And I know what he looks like because I've seen him in real life, don't question it. Anyways, so let's get on with it. So, firstly, what you're going to need is a pencil, of course. You're going to need a fine-pointed Sharpie. See, fine point. You're going to need a green-colored pencil, not one this short, obviously. It's just that it's been used. You're going to need a gray one, a very dark brown one, a dark blue one, a peach skin-colored one, a yellow one, this one is known as Peridot, and a brownish-orangish one that is on this little pencil extender. In truth, its length is like this. So, yeah. It's called Toasted Toffee, by the way. And you don't need those exact pencils with those exact names to do this, just with a color that's the same or at least relatively close. And lastly, you'll need a charcoal pencil for, you know, the shadow. So, without much further ado, let's get straight into it. So firstly, you're going to need to draw his ear. And his ear is a coyote ear. And it looks kind of like this, basically. Then his hair, being like mine, because after all he is my doppelganger, he looks essentially like me except with some major differences. His hair goes kind of like this. And then we draw his other ear, trying my best to make it look like a nice duplicate mirror image of this ear, only being a bit smaller. And the rest of his head, like that. And then his glasses are jagged. Basically, they're jagged. So they're not, the lens of them have like all these points on them. And so they basically look like this. And the lens shifts to match his personality, so that's why one of them is kind of down and the other one is more flared open. Because one of his eyebrows is going to be lowered and the other one is going to be up. And then he's got a big maniacal grin on his face. And he's got razor sharp teeth right down there. And yes, his eyes are going to be uncolored because the coloring is saved for the last part, or the near to last part. And then we draw the rest of his body. So he wears kind of like an overcoat that's tattered at the bottom. So we're going to draw his arm, starting like that, and then drawing 3 points. 3 points right here to mark where the elbow is. The elbow of his overcoat is kind of furry. Don't ask why, it just is. And the end of his overcoat is also very tattered. His hand is kind of strange. His fingers look kind of like the fingers of the Nightmare animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Meaning that their ends end with like razor sharp claws, like drill-like fingers. So we draw his fingers like this, ending with flat points and not going all the way, because the last digit of the finger is replaced with the claw. And to draw the claw, what I do is just make a nice rounded little flat ball-like shape at the end, if you can see that, at the end of each one. And then drawing a razor sharp point, kind of curved, not perfectly straight, but kind of curved. Like that, with, you can't really see it, but there are 3 little lines on each of the claws to show that, to try to give it more of a drill-like appearance. Now we're going to draw his body. So it goes kind of like this, there and there. I kind of draw his body as kind of like in a bit of a what's the word? What's the shape? A trapezoid kind of appearance, with the bigger end being up above, to try to make him have more of a muscular appearance. And his overcoat goes down like this. Like that, all tattered at the bottom. He's got the 2 corner parts of the upper area of the overcoat folded over like that. So naturally they would be lighter in color than his overcoat is, because that's showing the inside of it. And then that little line there marks where his shirt ends and where his legs begin. And speaking of which, let's draw his legs now, just to get them out of the way. So the odd thing about Kai's legs is that they're not organic. The genes go down partway there, and from then on, his legs are mechanical. They are bionic legs. And they look like this. That's one of the legs. It goes down there and there, kind of giving it kind of a zigzag appearance, similar to that of an actual animal, ending with 3 claws and 2 little circles to show that, to give it more of a mechanical appearance. And his other leg looks just like this as well. So if you've drawn his first leg with no problem, then his second leg should be a breeze, because you know exactly what to do. There's his other leg right beside his first leg. And then his other arm is basically just like the first arm that we drew, with the 3 little points marking his elbow and the tattered end. And his hand is essentially the same way as well. But this hand is going to be a bit trickier to draw, because he's going to have the fingers bent. He doesn't have his hand clenched in a fist, but he's got the fingers bent and kind of pointed inwards, all of them, including the thumb. So we start by going like this. It looks very weird, I know. And then the same circular ends to the fingers, and the same points. But this time, try not to make the points be curved. Try to make them be nice and straight. Like that. Man, oh man, I just made his hand look like an animal's. Then his tail. He's got a coyote tail as well. And it goes like this, basically. His tail looks like that. It's got many points, very spaced out along each other, and ending with kind of not too much of a point, but with a point similar to that. And you can see how it's smaller there, then gets bigger, and then goes down back to smaller to end the point. That tries to give it the impression that the tail is very bushy, which it is. So we've drawn Kai, now we're going to color him. And this is where the fun really begins. So using our peach pencil, we're going to color his skin. His face and his hands. Those are the only parts where his skin is showing. And there. So then what we do is we color his hair and his tail. And he's also got facial hair, so we'll need that too. So for the inside of the ear, we draw lightly, not hard. We don't press down with the pencil, but we do kind of like a light, smaller version of the ear inside. And we shade it in. Again, lightly. Not pressing down on the pencil, I'm just gently going over it to make it like that. Then for his ears, his two ears, his hair, his tail, this is where we press down to make it nice and dark, like this kind of shaded dark. It looks nearly black on here, but then again, that's the point. His hair is technically so dark brown, it's practically black, just like my hair. And at this rate, coloring his hair is going to take quite a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to time skip to the point where I color his hair, all of his hair, and then his coyote tail, and then we'll continue from there, because you basically know what to do from this point until I start coloring other stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to time skip, and then we'll get back to the lesson once all of his hair is colored. Alright, he's all colored now. His hair, his ears, and his tail. And hopefully you've done that too. So now we're going to color his overcoat. Now his overcoat, this is where we use this pencil, the brownish orangish kind. Making a shade akin to this. That's the color of his overcoat, but not all of it. Because the inside of his overcoat is a lighter shade. Basically doing the same thing that we did with the ear, where with the inside of the ear, the inner ear, what we did was we basically just colored lightly to show that it was the inner ear. Well, it's going to be the same case with this overcoat. We're going to do these things. We're going to put those as a lighter shade. This colored pencil's getting dangerously small. Might have to sharpen it. But thankfully I've got a couple of pencil sharpeners with me here. An electrical one and a non-electrical one. Non-electrical one is the main one that I use, but if the lead ends up breaking, which is a big chance of happening, especially if it's a colored pencil, then I will use the electric one. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to sharpen this pencil. Might not have enough of it left to shade, but thankfully the overcoat is the only thing we'll need to use this pencil for. Okay. So there we have it. And then for these things, yes, we are going to shade very lightly. Like so. And then, so we're done with this now. And then for his shirt, it's this yellow color. Like that. And now we're done with this. Then we use the blue to color his jeans. There. And now his legs and the points of his claws are gray, as they are made of metal. So, yeah, we're just going to color his legs and the points of his claws gray. Now his legs look like this, and his very small claws right here. And right there. I like that. So now we're done with this pencil. And now we're going to do his eyes. This is where the green comes in. It's going to be looking right at us, so we do a green dot, two green dots, one of them on the edge of this lens and the other right in the center of that lens. You can see he's looking right at us. So this is going to get much creepier. Now, something I actually completely forgot to do, and for this you're going to need to sharpen this. You're going to need to have the dark gray, sorry, what am I saying, not the dark gray, the dark brown having a sharp tip. So I'm just going to use my electric pencil sharpener to do that quickly. Excuse the noise. Done. Completely forgot about this. His eyebrows and his facial hair. So his eyebrows, they're very thick. So what we do is we do 4 points on the top. The 4th point is kind of blending in with here. And then straight down to show that his eyebrow is creased on here. This eyebrow, as I said earlier on in the video, is creased upwards. So we're going to have it like this. And yes, I know, this strand of hair is technically overlapping it, but that doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't. And then his facial hair, what we do for his mustache, his beard, the hair on his cheeks, we just do little lines. Little short lines. Kind of like that. I know it may look kind of very weird to some of you viewers out there. But just hold on, we're not done yet. So there is his mustache, his beard, and the hair on his cheeks. And then his sideburns as well. They're very dark, like this. Very dark and very kind of bushy. Just like mine, as a matter of fact. So now we're done with all the colored pencils. We're done with all these pencils. We're using this fine pointed Sharpie to outline. Starting with the ears. In case you're wondering, yes, I'm going to be using this on his eyes as well. But I'll get to his eyes as the last thing, since in my opinion they're the creepiest part of his body, his eyes. And because, just like with coloring his hair, you guys pretty much know what to do by this point. And so do I. You basically just have to outline his whole body, every part of him. But remember, spare his eyes, because you might not know what to do with his eyes. And for that matter, spare his mouth too. It looks better if it's not Sharpied. I'm just going to time skip again over to when I finish outlining all of him. And you guys can pause the video once the time skip is done, and then just outline him yourself and pick it up from there. So yeah, alright, I'll be back. And there. Now everything of him is all Sharpied up, except for his eyes. So we're going to first outline the lens, like this. There. And then we're going to shade them in. Not shading in the green, that's where his pupil is, but shading in everything else of his eye. And this will give him a very, very badass look to him. And there. Now normally he would be done, but he's not done. Not only are we missing out on the shadow, we're missing out on his magic, because Kai has magic. So using the green pencil again, or actually hold on a second. No, wait. Never mind. I'm not going to draw his magic because his magic's technically orange. And that means I'm going to have to go and get an orange pencil, and I don't want to make this video any longer than it already is. So I'm just going to leave out on his magic. You'll see it another time. Alright, so let's draw his shadow. And it's just the same as we did Venus's. Just some dark dashes, like so, and then rubbing it with your finger. Like so. And then of course, the signature, if you have one, which I do. And there we go. There is my doppelganger, Kai. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it helped you. If you wanted to learn how to draw Kai, then I hope that this video helped you accomplish that task. And if there's anything else you want to learn how to draw, then just let me know down in the comments section, and I might be able to do it. As long as, you know, it's possible, because there's certain things that I can't draw, such as anime or Pokemon, because they're way too detailed for me. Anyways, so yeah, goodbye.